So today we are discussing Italy as a destination for Indian students. We're going to study and talk about visa requirements, the kind of universities, the cost of living, and what is the study, post-study options along with the employability aspect if you are an Indian student looking to study in Italy. So let's talk numbers. There are more than 400,000 international students in Italy, out of which 12,000 are Indian students studying in Italy at this point in time. And one of the main reason, for these growing numbers are number of courses being taught in English. There are more than 600 courses being taught in English language, and you just don't need to learn Italian as a language. Of course, it will always help if you learn a local language. But even if you don't, you have enough courses to study from. So let's talk about visa technicalities. So Indian student need a type D student visa, which is long term application visa. And for that, you need to have a university offer letter. You need to have proof of funds. You need to show 6,000 euro per year as a cost of living. And you need to have a valid health insurance. And also in Italy, you need to book your accommodation before you can apply for your visa application. After arriving in Italy, you need to apply for a resident permit, which is also called Permesso di Soggiorno, within 8 days of your arrival. So, let's talk about post-study stay and work option. So, after getting graduated, you can apply for job-seeking resident permit, which is called Permesso di Soggiorno per attesa occupazione, which is nothing like, which is like a resident permit. And this is valid till 12 months after your course is completed. And once you get a permit, you can convert that into a work permit under Italy's quota system, which is also called Decreto Flussi. So duration of post-study visa is typically between 12 months to 24 months, depending upon the category and job secured while you are on a permit or work permit visa. So Italy is home to lots of higher rank university. To name few, there's Politecnico di Milano, there's University of Bologna, there is Sapienza University of Rome, we have University of Padua, and of course you have University of Milan, Politecnico di Torino. All these are among top 300 institute and universities worldwide. So there's no dearth of high rank university, whether it's engineering, design, business, or probably research. So Italy's university holds strong global credibility. Let's talk about tuition fee. So if we talk about public universities, it ranges from as low as 900 euro to probably 4,000 euro per year, which is approximately 80,000 to probably 4 lakhs a year. And they are private institutions, which ranges from 6,000 euro to 20,000 euro, depending upon which city, which university, or which course you are going for. One interesting fact: lots of public universities follow a income-based tuition fee. That means if you're coming from a low-income family, your fees can be probably further reduced depending upon the documentation, and you can prove that you are coming from low-income families. Let's talk about accommodation costs, excluding accommodation and including accommodation. So if we talk about excluding accommodation, anywhere from 500 to 600 euro per month is a amount probably you need to shell out for your utilities, for your food, for your transportation, probably miscellaneous expenses. Let's talk about accommodation. So accommodation prices depend upon whether you're looking for university halls or private accommodation or probably homestay. So homestay, it's a preferred choice among lots of European students. But if you're an international student, especially from India, most of the students choose private accommodation. And I always suggest do apply for university halls. And if you're lucky, that is one of the cheapest option, which will range from 300 to probably 600 euro per month. Private accommodation private accommodation will cost you anywhere from 400 to 1200 euro per month, and homestay with food, without food, will cost you anywhere from 300 to 1500 euro per month. And if you talk about accommodation, and being an accommodation expert for last 15 years, pro tip that 40% of overall expenses is accommodation. So you need to choose very carefully, and you need to start early, and most of the students try for university halls, and we always said definitely apply for university halls. But if we talk about, there's always a limited accommodation on campus, and hence 80% of students stay off campus, and this is where you should choose organized accommodation or unorganized accommodation depending upon your budgets, and hence it's very very important to start early. Look beyond university hall, and don't wait for visas to get your accommodation. And as it is in Italy, you need to apply for accommodation before you apply for visa. So you don't have a choice, but you should start early. You should look beyond university halls. Let's talk about city-wise, price range in Italy if you're looking to study there. So there are Milan's, Rome, and Bologna. These are the like your Delhi, Bombay, Bangalore. So Milan, you should shell anywhere from 600 to euro on an average. Rome again, it will be probably 500 to 700, or 600 will be a good price point, and Bologna it will be around 700 euro per month. So if we talk about city like Florence, which is in moderate range, you will get a good accommodation from let's say 470 euro to 600 euro in Florence. In Pisa, average is probably 500 euro. In Padua, again it will be anywhere from 450 to 500 euro per month. And if we talk about most affordable, there are cities like Trento, Naples, and Messina, which is approximately 400 euro per month kinds of accommodation. So private rental is the most important accommodation among international students. Uh, if you are an undergrad student, I would always request to do apply to university halls or check with your institution. But most of these cities in Europe, they don't have big campuses. So hence, mostly a student look outside their university halls or out away from the institution. There are lots of private accommodation which you can choose from. But as I mentioned, you need to start early. You need to look beyond university hall, and you need to have the right budget points, because end of the day, accommodation comprises of 40% of overall living expenses, and accommodation is as important as which university we are studying, because it's not classes where you learn, it's also people and places you live and spend your time. Let's talk about why Indian and international students choose Italy as a study destination. First, not only it's affordable, but also it's very popular, and the location and weather works for it. You have lots of global ranked high credible universities out there. Third, it's known for engineering, designs, fashions, courses, and most of the courses have been taught in English. So that also makes Italy as a very popular study destination country. Plus, you have lots of Indian students, so that also add to why Indian students are getting increased, because there's a community out there. So to sum it up, if you're looking for an option which is affordable, which is got a high rank credible universities, where you can have plethora of universities along with courses which are being taught in English, and a practical and a competitive destination wherein you learn well, you live well, and of course you create your career, then Italy is definitely one of the most popular and practical destination, wherein even the visa system is very clear. There's a clear path from study to employability. For that you need to do few things. You need to start early. You need to look for a course which match your passion and your interest. You need to prepare well, and if you can learn a local language, that will definitely add a big advantage to you. Along with it, be more open. Just don't stay with your nationality or with only Indians. Go out there, stay with people, get out of your comfort zone, and as I always mention, live and achieve and stay happy.